Imagine being handed a treasure map, not to gold or jewels, but to something far more valuable: peace, clarity, and a deep, lasting connection with your Creator. This isn't just any map, it's a guide that has transformed lives for centuries, offering direction and hope to anyone willing to embark on its path. The Quran is that map, a timeless guide that speaks to the heart and mind no matter where you are in life. It's not a book to read once and shelve, it's a lifelong companion, always ready to offer new insights each time you return to its pages. Every verse is a signpost on a journey meant for everyone, not just scholars or experts. The Quran welcomes all, young and old, beginners and seasoned readers alike. Think of the Quran as an ocean. Its surface is beautiful and inviting, but diving deeper reveals hidden worlds of wisdom, meaning, and guidance that can change your perspective on life. Within its pages, you'll find stories that echo your struggles, answers to unspoken questions, and comfort for your heart during times of uncertainty or pain. This journey isn't meant to be intimidating. It's a personal adventure, unique to you. Each step you take is a step toward understanding yourself and your purpose. Millions have walked this path before, leaving behind tools, reflections, and insights to help you along the way. You're never alone on this journey. The Quran calls itself a guidance for mankind, inviting you to reflect, to ponder, and to ask questions. It encourages you to seek understanding, not just to accept blindly. It encourages faith built on understanding, not blind acceptance. The Quran wants you to think, to question, and to grow. You don't need to be perfect or a scholar to begin, just bring a curious heart and a willingness to explore. This guide introduces the Mathani framework, a simple 4-step method designed to help you unlock the Quran's wisdom, no matter your background. We'll walk through each step together, using clear examples and practical tips to make your journey easier and more meaningful. We'll explore its sounds, its words, its stories, and the hidden patterns that make the Quran unique and profound. The goal isn't instant expertise, but to start a relationship with the Book of Allah, a relationship that grows deeper with every encounter. With every step, your connection will grow, and you'll discover new layers of meaning and inspiration. Are you ready to begin your journey? The first step is simply opening your heart and mind. The Quran is waiting for you to dive in, to explore its depths and discover its treasures for yourself. Let's set aside doubts, distractions, and fears, and start this journey together, one page at a time. This is your invitation to explore, reflect, and discover the beauty and wisdom that awaits you. The treasure is real, and the journey is yours. Let's begin. Your adventure with the Quran starts now. Exploring the Quran's wisdom in simple terms. The Quran, Islam's sacred book, is like a treasure map guiding us to wisdom, beauty, and a closer connection to God. It's not just words on a page, it's a journey of discovery through sound, meaning, stories, and surprises. This article introduces an easy way to understand the Quran using 4 steps: recitation, translation, explanation, and reflection. Together, these form the Mathani framework, which sees the Quran as a book of repeating themes like stories or even special numbers, like 1729. Let's break it down in simple terms to make the Quran feel alive and meaningful for everyone. Step 1. Recitation Iqra. Listen to the Quran's song. Imagine the Quran as a beautiful song. The first step, called Iqra, Arabic for read or recite, is about saying its words out loud in Arabic, even if you don't know what they mean. This is done with tajweed, a way to pronounce the words correctly, like singing with the right tune. For example, Surah Al-Fatiha, the Quran's first chapter with 7 verses, has a rhythm that feels calm and powerful, like a heartbeat. Why it's awesome. Reciting connects you to the Quran's special sound, believed to be the way the Prophet Muhammad shared it 1,400 years ago. You don't need to be an expert. Apps like Quran Companion or YouTube videos can help you listen or practice. Millions of people memorize the Quran this way, keeping its words exactly the same for centuries. Step 2. Translation. Understand the words. Not everyone speaks Arabic, so translation is like a key that opens the Quran's meaning. For example, in Surah Al-Fatiha, the phrase Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim means the merciful, the compassionate, describing God's kindness. Different translations might use slightly different words, which makes you curious to learn more. The word Mathani might be oft repeated or doubled, hinting at deeper ideas. Why it's awesome. Translation lets anyone understand the Quran's big messages, like love, mercy, and guidance. It's like reading the main plot of a story. You get the idea, but you want to know more. Step 3. Explanation. Tafsir. Learn the story behind the words. Tafsir is like having a friend explain the Quran's stories and lessons. Scholars use history, the Prophet's sayings, and language to make things clear. For example, Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, talks about the Prophet's family and a battle called Uhud. Knowing this history helps you understand why the verses encourage strength and faith during tough times. Why it's awesome. Tafsir is like watching a movie with bonus commentary. It shows you the why behind the words. It connects the Quran to real-life events, making its lessons feel practical and relatable. Step 4. Reflection. Tadabbur. Find hidden treasures. Reflection. Tadabbur is where the fun really begins. It's like solving a puzzle or spotting surprises in the Quran. The Mathani framework points out patterns, like how stories such as Moses' adventures repeat across chapters, or how numbers like 1729 appear in cool ways. Here are some examples. Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3. It has 200 verses. Add the chapter number, 3, and you get 203, which is 7x 29. The number 7 reminds us of Al-Fatihah's 7 verses, and 29 matches the number of chapters with special opening letters, like Alif Lam Mim. Surah Yasin, chapter 36. Known as the heart of the Quran, its chapter number, 36, is 7 plus 29. Also, 3x 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 3 times 3 equals 729, which connects to 1729, a special number in math. It's the smallest number that can be written as the sum of 2 cubes in 2 ways, like 93 plus 103. God's 99 names. The Quran lists 99 names for God, like the kind. The number 99 feels linked to 9, and 9x 9 times 9 equals 729, tying to 1729. Special chapters. Chapters 7, 13 and 19 start with unique letters, and 7x 13x 19 equals sign 1729. It's like a hidden clue that makes you smile. Why it's awesome. These patterns are like finding Easter eggs in a video game. They're fun and make you feel amazed at how the Quran's pieces fit together. They're not about proving anything but about sparking wonder. The Mathani framework, a circle of wonder. The word Mathani in the Quran, 1587-39-23, means repeated or doubled. The Mathani framework says the Quran is full of repeating ideas, like stories, lessons, or numbers, that connect like a circle. You recite to hear the sound, translate to get the meaning, study Tafsir for the backstory, and reflect to find surprises. Together, these steps make the Quran feel like a friendly guide, full of wisdom and beauty. Why this matters today. You don't need to be a scholar to enjoy the Quran. Apps let you listen to recitations, read translations, or explore Tafsir. Social media like TikTok or Instagram shares videos of chapters like Surah Al-Kahf, which millions watch for its special blessings. The Mathani framework mixes old traditions like recitation with new tools like apps or spotting patterns with math, making the Quran feel exciting and fresh. What about doubts? Some people wonder if focusing on numbers like 1729 is like seeing shapes in clouds. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Traditional scholars say the Quran's real magic is its words and lessons, not math tricks. That's okay. Numbers are just one way to explore, like adding sprinkles to ice cream. The Quran itself, 3:190, encourages thinking about its signs, whether through stories, nature, or even numbers, to feel closer to God. Start your journey. The Quran is like a sparkling gem with endless layers to discover. Recite its verses to feel their rhythm. Read translations to understand their meaning. Explore Tafsir for their stories, and reflect to find hidden connections. The Mathani framework shows how these steps work together, turning the Quran into an adventure. Whether it's the flow of Al-Fatihah, the lessons of Al-Imran, or the surprise of 1729, every step brings you closer to its wisdom. Understanding the Quran's wisdom in simple steps. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, is like a treasure map. It's not just a book to read, it's a journey to explore through sound, meaning, history, and wonder. This article introduces an easy way to connect with the Quran's wisdom using 4 steps: recitation, translation, explanation, and reflection. Together, these steps form something called the Mathani framework. which sees the Quran as a book of repeating themes and patterns, like stories or even special numbers, like 1729. Let's dive into these steps to see how they make the Quran feel alive and meaningful for everyone. Step 1. Recitation. Iqra. Feel the Quran's rhythm. Think of the Quran as a song with a beautiful melody. Reciting it in Arabic, even if you don't understand the words, is like listening to that melody. This step, called Iqra, Arabic for recite, is about saying the verses out loud with proper pronunciation, called tajweed. For example, Surah Al-Fatiha, the Quran's first chapter with 7 verses, has a flow that feels like a heartbeat. Muslims believe this sound is special because it's how the Prophet Muhammad shared it. Why it's cool? Reciting the Quran feels like connecting to something timeless. Today you can use apps to hear or practice recitation, making it easy to start. Millions of people memorize the Quran this way, keeping its words unchanged for centuries. Step 2. Translation. Unlock the words. Not everyone speaks Arabic, so translation is like opening a door to the Quran's message. For example, in Surah Al-Fatiha, the phrase Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim means the merciful, the compassionate. Different translations might use slightly different words, which adds layers to explore. A word like Mathani might be translated as oft repeated or doubled, hinting at deeper meanings. Why it's cool? Translation lets anyone, anywhere understand the Quran's big ideas, like God's kindness. It's like getting the main plot of a story, but it makes you curious to learn more. Step 3. Explanation. Tafsir. Get the backstory. Tafsir is like having a guide explain the Quran's stories and lessons. Scholars use history, the Prophet's sayings, and language to make things clear. For example, Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, talks about the Prophet's family and a battle called Uhud. Knowing this history helps the verses make sense, like understanding why a movie character acts a certain way. Why it's cool? Tafsir connects the Quran to real events and lessons, like staying strong during tough times. It's like reading the director's notes for a film. It adds depth. Step 4. Reflection. Tadabbur. Discover hidden treasures. Reflection, or Tadabbur, is where you think deeply about the Quran, like solving a puzzle. The Mathani framework points out patterns, like how stories, such as Moses' life, repeat across chapters, or how numbers like 1729 pop up in cool ways. Here are a few examples. Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3. It has 200 verses. Add the chapter number 3, and you get 203, which is 7x 29. The number 7 reminds us of Al-Fatiha's 7 verses, and 29 links to the 29 chapters with mysterious opening letters. Surah Yasin, chapter 36. It's called the heart of the Quran. The chapter number, 36, is 7 plus 29. Also, 3x, 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 3x 3 times 3 equals 729, which ties to 1729, a special number in math. God's 99 names. The Quran lists 99 names for God, like the Merciful. The number 99 connects to 9, and 9x 9 times 9 equals 729, which links to 1729. Special chapters. Chapters 7, 13 and 19 have unique opening letters, and 7x 13 times 19 equals 1729. It's like a secret code that makes you smile. Why it's cool? These patterns are like Easter eggs in a game. They don't prove anything but make you go, wow! They show how the Quran's pieces fit together, inviting you to feel amazed. The Mathani framework, a circle of wonder. The word Mathani in the Quran means repeated or doubled. The Mathani framework says the Quran is full of repeating ideas, like stories or numbers, that connect like a circle. You recite to hear the sound, translate to get the meaning, study tafsir for context, and reflect to find surprises. Together, these steps make the Quran feel like a conversation with God, full of wisdom and beauty. Why this matters today? You don't need to be a scholar to enjoy the Quran. Apps let you listen to recitations or check translations, and social media, like videos of Surah Al-Kahf, shares its beauty with millions. The Mathani framework mixes old traditions with new tools, like spotting patterns with math or sharing insights online. It's a fun way to see the Quran as both ancient and fresh. What about doubts? Some people worry that focusing on numbers like 1729 is like seeing shapes in clouds. It might not mean anything. Traditional scholars say the Quran's real magic is its words and lessons, not math. that's okay. Numbers are just one way to explore, like a bonus feature. The Quran itself, 3:190, says to think about its signs, whether through stories or patterns, to feel closer to God. Your journey awaits. The Quran is like a sparkling gem with layers to uncover. Recite its verses, read their meanings, learn their stories, and look for hidden connections. The Mathani framework shows how these steps work together, turning the Quran into a journey of discovery. Whether it's the rhythm of Al-Fatiha, the lessons of Al-Imran, or the surprise of 1729, every step brings you closer to its wisdom. So grab an app, open the Quran, and start exploring. You might just find a treasure that speaks to your heart. Deeper layers. Exploring the Quran's multidimensional wisdom through the Mathani framework. The article you've shared presents a compelling invitation to engage with the Quran, not just as a spiritual text, but as a multifaceted gem, layered with recitation, Iqra, translation, exegesis, Tafsir, and deep reflection, Tadabbur. At its core is the Mathani framework, which interprets the Quran's repeated themes. Mathani, meaning repeated or doubled, as in Quran 15:87 and 39:23. Through interconnected patterns including stories like those of Moses and numerical symmetries such as 7:29 and 17:29. This approach positions the Quran as a harmonious cycle where each layer builds on the others, fostering awe and closeness to God. To provide a deeper and wider understanding, I'll expand on these concepts, verify key claims, explore related discussions, and address potential critiques, drawing from traditional scholarship, modern analyses, and emerging theories. Recitation, Iqra. The rhythmic foundation recitation in Arabic with tajweed, proper pronunciation, is emphasized as the heartbeat of the Quran. Surah Al-Fatiha, Chapter 1, with its 7 verses, exemplifies this flow. Muslims believe the Quran's oral revelation preserves its divine sound, as the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, recited it without literacy. This layer connects to the article's song metaphor. The Quran's phonetic beauty, like rhyme and rhythm, evokes emotional resonance. For instance, apps today, for example Quran recitation tools on iOS, Android, make this accessible, aligning with the article's nod to modern tools. Why deeper? Traditional scholars like Ibn Kathir highlight how recitation aids memorization. Millions of Hafaz, memorizers worldwide, preserve the text unchanged since the 7th century. Wider context. On social platforms, recitations of Surah Al-Kahf, Chapter 18, garner millions of views as noted, often for its protective virtues on Fridays. Translation, bridging languages and meanings translations, unlock the Quran for non-Arabic speakers. But variances, for example Mathani, as oft repeated or doubled, invite nuance. The article cites Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim in Al-Fatiha as the merciful, the compassionate, emphasizing God's attributes. This layer makes the Quran universal, but it's a starting point since Arabic's richness, for example root words with multiple shades, can't be fully captured. Deeper insight. Over 100 languages have Quran translations, with English versions like Yusuf Ali or Sahih International varying subtly. Wider, debates on X, formerly Twitter, often discuss translation accuracy, with users sharing how it transforms understanding, e.g., posts linking Mathani to repeated divine mercy themes. Exegesis, Tafsir, historical and scholarly depth. Tafsir provides context, drawing from prophetic sayings, hadith, history, and linguistics. The article references scholars like Ibn Kathir and Al-Tabari for Surah Al-Imran, Chapter 3, tying it to events like the Battle of Uhud and the Prophet's family. This grounds interpretation in tradition, preventing misreadings. Deeper, Ibn Kathir's Tafsir, 14th century, details how Surah Al-Imran addresses Christian delegations, emphasizing monotheism. Wider, contemporary X discussions analyze Tafsir for current issues like resilience in trials, with threads quoting Uhud's lessons on patience. 3:146. Deep reflection, Tadabbur, patterns and hidden gems. Tadabbur is the reflective pinnacle, where patterns emerge. The article's Mathani framework highlights repetitions, for example Moses' stories across chapters, and numbers like 1729 seen as signposts to God's unity, Tawheed. Examples include Surah Al-Imran 3, 200 verses plus chapter number 3 equals sign 203 equals 7 times 29. Here 7 evokes Al-Fatiha's 7 verses, and 29 links to the 29 chapters with muqatta'at, disjointed letters at surah starts. Verse counts can vary slightly by recitation style, for example excluding Bismillah, but standard Hafs recitation confirms 200 verses. The framework sometimes adjusts for symbolic inclusion. Surah Yasin, 36, dubbed the heart of the Quran, 36 equals 7 plus 29. Also, 3 circumflex 6 equals sign 729, tying to 1729, 9 cubed plus 10 cubed equals sign 1729, or 1 cubed plus 12 cubed equals sign 1729, the Hardy-Ramanujan number. This mathematical property, smallest number as sum of 2 cubes in 2 ways, adds intrigue. 99 names of God. The article notes 99, breaks down to 9 times 9 equals 81, then 9 cubed equals sign 729, linking to 1729. However, 99 equals 9 times 11, not 9x9. This might intend a digit sum, 9 plus 9 equals 18, 1 plus 8 equals 9, or symbolic breakdown, but it's imprecise. The 99 names, Asma'ul Husna, emphasize attributes like mercy, repeated in patterns. Special chapters, chapters 7, Al-Araf, 13, Arad, and 19, Maryam, start with muqatta'at, and 7x 13 times 19 equals 1729. Confirmed. These chapters have letters, for example 7, Alif Lam Mim Sad, and there are indeed 29 muqatta'at surahs. Deeper, the Mathani framework, as a recent theory, builds on earlier ideas like Rashad Khalifa's Code 19 inches, Quran 74, 30 mentions 19 inches as a trial, but shifts to July 29, 1729. It views the Quran as a divine blueprint, with verse sums, digit manipulations, and factorizations revealing order. For instance, muqatta'at letters gematria, numerical values, often sum to multiples of 7 or 19. Wider, discussions on X and forums promote these as numerical miracles. For example, 1729 linking math, Hardy-Ramanujan, to faith. Books like The Quran Miracles explored detail, 1729 patterns. However, traditional views, for example Al-Ghazali, focus on themes over math, per Quran 3, 7, clear versus mysterious verses. The Mathani framework, harmony and cycle. This framework unifies the layers into a cycle. Recite for rhythm, translate for access, Tafsir for context, Tadabbur for wonder. Numbers like 1729 aren't proof but sparks for awe, echoing Quran 3, 190, signs for thinkers. It bridges tradition and modernity, using apps for verse counting or social media for sharing, for example TikTok X videos on Al-Kahf. Addressing doubts and broader reception. The article acknowledges risks. Over-focusing on numbers might force patterns, patternicity. Critiques abound. Scholars like Dr. Ashraf Abdul Razak Katna argue numerical claims use selective conditions, violating standard scripts or counts. Bilal Phillips calls them hoax and heresy, noting subjectivity and data fudging. For example, arbitrary exclusions in word counts like day equals sign 365. Islam Web views them as witty observations, not miracles, urging caution. Skeptics on Reddit Quora highlight coincidences in any text. Proponents counter patterns, for example, word balances like life and death, both 145 times, show divine precision. Yet the Quran's core miracle is its inimitability, ijaz, linguistic, scientific, and prophetic, not solely numerical. A journey worth taking. The Quran's layers invite endless exploration, from rhythmic recitation to reflective patterns. The Mathani framework offers a fresh lens, blending faith and math, but it's one path among many. Whether through 1729's wink or Al-Fatihah's flow, it points to divine wisdom. As Quran 3, 190 urges, reflect on signs, traditional or numerical, to draw nearer to God. For further depth, explore tafsirs like Ibn Kathir. Understanding the Quran through layers of meaning. The Quran, Islam's holy book, is like a treasure chest with many layers. Each layer reveals something special about its wisdom, and together they create a beautiful harmony. This article explores 4 key ways to connect with the Quran: recitation, iqra, translation, exegesis, tafsir, and deep reflection, tadabbur, and how they work together in a concept called the Mathani framework. This framework sees the Quran as a book of repeated themes and patterns, including fascinating numbers like 1729, that invite us to think deeply and feel closer to God. Recitation, Iqra, the heartbeat of the Quran. Imagine the Quran as a song. The first step, called Iqra, Arabic for recite, is to sing it out loud. Reciting the Quran in Arabic with proper pronunciation, tajweed, is like feeling its rhythm and melody. For example, reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, the Quran's opening chapter with 7 verses, helps you soak in its flow. This isn't just reading, it's about connecting with the Quran's sound, which Muslims believe is a divine gift. It's the starting point, like laying the foundation for a house. Why it matters? Without reciting, you miss the Quran's unique beauty. It's like hearing a poem in its original language, it just hits differently. Translation, opening the door to meaning. The Quran was revealed in Arabic, but not everyone speaks it. Translation is like a key that unlocks the Quran's message for the world. For instance, Surah Al-Fatiha's phrase Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim translates to the merciful, the compassionate. But translations can vary. One might say oft repeated for a word like Mathani, while another says doubled. These differences show there's more to explore, why it matters. Translation makes the Quran's wisdom accessible to everyone, but it's just a starting point. It invites you to dig deeper. Exegesis, Tafsir, adding context and clarity. Tafsir is like having a wise teacher explain the Quran's stories and lessons. Scholars like Ibn Kathir or Al-Tabari look at history, language and sayings of the Prophet Muhammad to explain verses. For example, in Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, Tafsir tells us it's about the Prophet's family and key events like the Battle of Uhud. This helps us understand why the Quran says what it does, why it matters. Tafsir gives us the background, like knowing the setting of a story. It keeps our understanding grounded in tradition. Deep reflection, Tadabbur, finding hidden gems. Tadabbur means thinking deeply about the Quran's signs, like pondering a beautiful painting. It's where you connect the dots between recitation, translation, and tafsir to uncover deeper meanings. The Mathani framework suggests the Quran has patterns, like repeated stories. For example, Moses appears in many chapters, or numbers like 1729, that make you go, wow, that's amazing. Here are some examples of how this works. Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3. It has 200 verses. Add the chapter number 3 to the verse count, 200, and you get 203. That's 7x 29. The number 7 reminds us of Al-Fatiha's 7 verses, and 29 is the number of chapters with special opening letters, Muqatta'at. It's like a puzzle piece fitting perfectly. Surah Yasin, chapter 36, called the heart of the Quran. It's the 36th chapter. Notice that 7 plus 29 equals 36. Also, 3 circumflex 6, 3x3 x3 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 equals 729, a number that connects to 1729, 93 plus 103. This feels like a hidden wink from God. The 99 names of God. The Quran lists God's beautiful names like the Merciful. The number 99 breaks down to 9 times 9 equals 81, and 9 leads to 9 cubed equals sign 729, which ties to 1729. It's like finding a thread that ties everything together. Special chapters, chapters 7, 13 and 19 have unique opening letters. Multiply them. 7x 13 times 19 equals 1729. This number, famous in math as the Hardy-Ramanujan number, feels like a secret code linking the Quran's themes. Why it matters? Tadabbur is like solving a mystery. It's not about proving the Quran with numbers, but feeling awe at how everything connects, like stars forming a constellation. The Mathani framework, bringing it all together. The word Mathani in the Quran, 1587-39-23, means repeated or doubled. The Mathani framework sees the Quran as a book of pairs, stories that repeat like Moses' journey, and numbers that echo like 729 or 1729. It's not about choosing between recitation, translation, tafsir, or reflection. Instead, it's a cycle. Recite to feel the Quran's rhythm, translate to understand its words, study tafsir to know its history, reflect to find its wonders. This cycle makes the Quran feel alive, like a conversation with God. The number 1729 isn't the goal, it's a signpost pointing to God's unity and wisdom. Why this matters today? This approach isn't just for scholars. Today apps let you count verses or listen to recitations, and social media, like TikTok videos of Surah Al-Kahf with millions of views, makes the Quran approachable. The Mathani framework bridges old and new, using tradition, recitation, tafsir, and modern tools, apps, math, to make the Quran feel fresh and inspiring, addressing doubts. Some worry that focusing on numbers like 1729 is risky. It might seem like forcing patterns where they don't belong. Others say traditional scholars like Al-Ghazali focused on themes, not math. The answer? Numbers are just one way to reflect, not the only way. They're like a spark to ignite wonder, not a rule to follow blindly. The Quran itself, 3:7, says some verses are clear while others are mysterious, meant for deep thinkers to explore. A journey of wonder. The Quran is like a universe, vast, beautiful, and full of secrets. By reciting, translating, studying, and reflecting, we travel through its layers, each step revealing more. The Mathani framework shows how these steps work together, turning Iqra versus translation versus Tafsir versus Tadabbur into a harmonious journey. Whether it's the rhythm of Al-Fatiha, the story of Al-Imran, or the mystery of 1729, every piece invites us to see the Quran's beauty and feel closer to God. As the Quran says, 3:190, the signs in the heavens and earth are for those who think, and that's a journey worth taking. The first step on this journey is recitation, tilawa, the act of letting the words of the Quran flow from your lips or enter your ears. The Quran was revealed as a sound, not just a written text. Its message first touched hearts through the beauty of its recitation, echoing through the deserts and cities of Arabia. Its rhythm and melody have a unique power to move the soul, even if you don't understand Arabic. The sound alone can stir deep emotions and bring a sense of awe. Listening to recitation brings peace, calms the mind, and prepares your heart for the message that follows. It's a gentle invitation to reflect and connect. Surah Al-Fatiha, recited daily in every prayer, is powerful not only for its meaning but also for its sound, which resonates with every believer. The flow, the pauses, and the repetition create a symphony of praise, hope, and longing for guidance. Each verse is like a note in a beautiful song. You don't need to be a professional reciter, just listen with an open heart. The experience is for everyone, regardless of age or background. Find a voice that resonates with you, whether it's a famous reciter or someone close to you, and let the words wash over you like a gentle stream. Try reciting short chapters yourself. Don't worry about perfection or pronunciation. Every sincere effort is valued. The effort itself is an act of worship, a way to draw closer to the divine and express your devotion. Recitation builds a sensory connection with the Quran, engaging your voice, ears, and even your sense of touch. It's like hearing the ocean before you dive in, an introduction that awakens your senses and prepares you for a deeper experience. This step sets the mood, calms the soul, and opens the door to understanding. Many find comfort, healing, and a sense of closeness to God just by listening to the recitation, even in moments of solitude. This is the foundation for deeper understanding and a lifelong relationship with the Quran. Let the sound be your first key to the treasure, unlocking the wisdom and beauty within. Begin by listening and let your heart respond. This is where your journey truly starts. After connecting with the sound, the next step is understanding the words. Translation bridges the gap for non-Arabic speakers, turning beautiful sounds into clear ideas. It's like having a guide in a foreign land. For example, reading "In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful" reveals God's mercy at the heart of the Quran. Translations open the door to understanding His attributes. Remember, every translation is an interpretation. Arabic is rich and layered. Comparing different translations can deepen your insight. This isn't about memorizing English text, but grasping the message. What is this chapter about? Who is speaking? What's the main theme? Translation gives you the what and prepares you for deeper exploration. It transforms the Quran from mysterious sound to accessible guidance. The treasure map starts to make sense. This step moves you from hearing to truly listening. Now, let's dive deeper with tafsir, explanation and context. Translation tells you what the Quran says. Tafsir tells you why. Context is like turning on the lights in a dark room. For example, learning the story behind the Battle of Uhud in Surah Al-Imran makes verses about patience and trust come alive. Tafsir connects verses to real events and deeper meanings. You don't need massive books. Many beginner-friendly resources exist. Tafsir protects against misunderstanding and grounds your understanding in history. It reveals the wisdom behind God's commands and the beauty of His storytelling. Tafsir turns words on a page into living lessons. It's the key to unlocking the stories behind the words. The final step is Tadabbur, deep reflection. This is where the journey becomes personal. After recitation, translation, and tafsir, ask, what does this mean for me? Tadabbur connects the Quran to your life and struggles. The Quran repeats stories, each time with new lessons. Like the many angles of Musa's story, reflecting on these helps you see your own challenges in a new light. Tadabbur is about asking questions. Why is Allah telling me this? How can I apply it today? It's a heart-to-heart conversation with your Creator. This is what transforms the Quran from information to transformation. The treasure map leads to the treasure within your heart. Tadabbur makes the Quran truly yours. How do these 4 steps work together? Think of them as lenses, each sharpening your focus. They form a cycle: recitation, translation, tafsir, and tadabbur, each deepening your connection. For example, a recitation moves your heart, translation reveals its meaning, tafsir explains its context, and tadabbur makes it personal. This cycle turns the Quran into a living companion, not just a book. The Mathani framework engages your ears, mind, and heart. It honors the Quran's multi-layered nature: law, story, poetry, and more. This balanced approach keeps you from getting stuck in one area. The goal is a living, breathing connection with God. The more you engage, the more the Quran opens up to you. Each cycle strengthens your relationship. The Quran becomes a guide, a friend, and a source of endless discovery. This is the beauty of the Mathani framework. Patterns in the Quran, including numbers, can spark wonder. For example, day appears 365 times, month 12 times. Details that amaze and inspire curiosity. These patterns aren't the foundation of faith, but they enhance appreciation. Think of them as hidden gems, not the main story. The real miracle is the Quran's message and its power to transform lives. Numerical patterns are a spark, not a pillar. Let them encourage you to look closer, but don't get lost in counting. The treasure is in understanding and living the message. Tadabbur is about connecting with God, not just finding curiosities. Enjoy the beauty, but seek the meaning. Today, connecting with the Quran is easier than ever. Smartphone apps put recitation, translation, and tafsir at your fingertips. Listen to recitation on your commute, read a verse while waiting, or watch a short tafsir video at night. Social media offers reminders and inspiration. Just follow authentic sources. Technology turns idle moments into opportunities for learning and reflection. Blend traditional wisdom with modern tools for spiritual growth. Don't be overwhelmed. Start with one app, one reciter, one teacher. The tools are there to serve your journey. They're modern compasses guiding you through the ocean of the Quran. Begin with what you have and let technology support your exploration. The journey is more accessible than ever. We've explored the Quran as a journey, a treasure map to peace and connection with God. Each verse is a signpost, guiding us closer to understanding ourselves and our Creator. The Mathani framework brings the Quran to life, making it relevant and dynamic. It helps us see the Quran not just as a book, but as a living guide that speaks to our daily struggles and hopes. The true goal is a deeper relationship with Allah, built through reflection, understanding, and sincere effort. Now it's your turn to take the first step, no matter how small it may seem. The Quran is for everyone. No need to wait until you feel ready. Every heart, at any stage, is welcome to begin. It's a rope from God to you. Just reach out and hold on, even if only for a moment each day. Start small. Read a verse, listen to a recitation, reflect for a moment. Even a single verse can open doors to new insights and comfort. This is a journey, not a race. Some days will feel easy, others hard. Progress is made step by step, with patience and persistence. The important thing is to keep coming back. Every return is a new beginning, a fresh opportunity to connect. The door to the Quran is always open, inviting you to enter and explore its wisdom. Allah says, "So remember me, I will remember you." Your remembrance is never unnoticed. Your effort to connect is always valued. Every attempt, no matter how small, is precious in the sight of God. Tadabbur is for every heart, every mind, every soul seeking meaning and peace. Open the book, download the app, play the recitation. There are countless ways to begin. Begin your conversation with God and ask for guidance. Let your questions and hopes find a voice. The treasure is waiting. The map is in your hands. Every page holds a new discovery, a new lesson. Embark on this adventure and discover the wisdom and peace within. Your journey starts now. Take the first step and see where it leads.